This is for the awakened, the warriors of light, the seekers of truth, the ones who refuse to surrender to a world that tells them who to be.
This is a call to arms, to every heart that still beats with the fire of liberation, to the minds that refuse to be shackled by the illusions of fate, to the spirit that knows. We are the creators, the architects, the authors of our own stories.
It's time to take back our power, to become the change we seek in the world. For we are the revolution.
Welcome to Sage and Siva.
Your evolution begins now.
Welcome back, dear listeners, for our final installment.
Oh, jeez. I mean, this has been a really good series. So far. We've covered a ton of information. We know now that our body grounds us, our mind filters our reality, and now our spirit gives it all meaning.
Yeah, what that bitch you?
What do we mean when we say spirit?
Spirit. I think I might have to read my notes here, because if I try to speak this, I'm gonna butcher it. But when I was thinking about that the other day, which, by the way, we didn't decide, like, hey, let's start the podcast with this. That's just literally mine and Kayla's brains. We just, like, are always doing the same thing without even having to speak it to each other. Literally, what is spirit?
What is spirit?
Anyway, yeah,
that's out of control.
Spooky. Okay, so what I have is spirit. I see it as a loop. So it's kind of like a contradiction to me. It's like the deepest, innermost part of ourself, but it is also simultaneously our connection and like tether to something greater than ourselves.
Yeah. The way I see it, I'm really drawn to those gorgeous esoteric quotes like, we're all just stardust in motion.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, it's true, because we have the periodic table and it's just rearranged chemistry to create every living being on Earth. But to me, spirit is the part of me that is a part of everything else. Like, we came from one single source. So the part of source that is within me, the part of source that is within me is within you. It's within this bush behind us. To me, that is what spirit is.
Speaking of rosemary, just smelling it,
oh my goodness,
is scientifically proven to lower cortisol. I mean, get yourself some. Get in there, girl.
Oh, you know,
it's
medicinal. It's
so good.
That's definitely a tangent right there.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's shit's fire. Okay. I have it's the personal and collective core and the heartbeat of the universe.
Ooh, see, I love that stuff. Like this beautiful, esoteric, poetic, and I think it has to be that way because it is kind of hard to put human terms onto something that's not really human.
It's not exclusively human, yeah.
No. I think that's why when people are participating in some creative endeavor that that bypasses the logic brain, I think that's when you experience spirit at its essence. I see it as the unifying force between our body and our mind. And it connects us to ourselves, but it also connects us to everything around us as well. A really good way to know what it is and what it is not is noticing when you are disconnected. It's obvious. Like, the signs are there. We've been conditioned to accept it as the norm. So signs that you're disconnected from spirit, that numb and hollow feeling that I think a lot of us experience as discontentment.
Yeah.
We don't allow ourselves to explore that initially because, I mean, you got to keep up with the Joneses, right?
Right. There's nothing culturally that like indicates that that is a real or valid feeling, or that other people are feeling this thing. You feel, I mean, everyone's silent about it, so why would you be the one to be like, excuse me, feeling hollow over here?
Feeling a little hollow over here. Like, let me get you some pills. Seriously though.
well, no, it's spot on. Yeah.
If the truth, if your truth is that your life lacks meaning and you have a hard time discerning or finding the beauty in every day, to me, you're disconnected from spirit. Because when you realize and you feel this rhythm in yourself, but in nature and in your external environment, it's breathtaking. Like every day you feel this sense of awe and wonder. Like, have you seen the freaking morning sunlight shining through the leaves of a tree? It's beautiful.
Dude, I literally will catch myself looking at leaves and going, fuck yeah.
Oh, I'm serious. Or like a leaf. Have you noticed like the similarities between like the veins on a leaf in our hands?
Yeah.
Or, like, it's insane if you take the time to stop and notice, and you can almost see a piece of yourself in your surroundings. And I remember the first time I tried to put words to this and verbalize it. Thank God it was in a therapy session. But I told her, I was like, I don't know how to say this, but I was walking on the trail by my house, and I was in deep meditation, and this robin landed on the trail in front of me. And I said, I don't know how to explain it other than I felt like I was a part of the robin. And she said, Kayla, are you telling me you feel like you're a bird? I said, yeah, kind of, I am. But it's almost like you remember parts of yourself rather than change yourself, because in your spirit you are already whole and perfect as you are. And it's like you have these brief mystical moments of remembering that that's who you are.
Yeah.
And you're awestruck. It's insane.
Yeah. I remember, gosh, probably like a year or two ago, the idea of glimmers was circulating on social media, and to me that's what that is. It's the opposite of a trigger. It's something that you see in your life that inspires awe and joy and peace and fulfillment, and to me that's exactly what that is. It's like, I don't know, this rare moment, and I think that you can cultivate more of those. You can manifest more of those in your life by looking up and noticing the world around you a little more often. And I love what you mentioned about, turning off the rational mind or quieting our thinking, because that's to me what a flow state is. And when you are creating something, or shit, even when you're just doing the dishes or whatever that looks like, when you have stopped thinking with your rational mind and you are fully embodied in the present moment doing whatever task it is that you are doing, that's your spirit. That's your spirit. It's that's when your spirit is leading the way. And I think that's where sometimes people get kind of tangled up in the idea of like a spiritual practice, because anything can be a spiritual practice. And it's just, so we've labeled a few things as a spiritual practice, like yoga, for example. But if you're in a yoga class and the entire time you're in the yoga class, you're thinking like, fuck, I don't want the person behind me to see me doing this. Oh, am I doing this wrong? Blah, 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 blah. Whatever is going on in our heads that is getting in the way of us actually, getting into that flow state, then that's not the practice for you. And not to say that you couldn't get there, of course, but like it's not about performing a specific thing. It's about presence, really.
Yes. Yeah. I think when you are striving without the fulfillment, like you just said, like in a yoga, that is a spiritual practice, yes. But if you don't get that fulfillment after the fact, I think you're missing something. You can easily intellectualize your spiritual journey and completely miss the point.
Right.
The point is the connection between your mind, body, spirit. Don't get stuck in your mind. Don't get stuck in your body. Like, you need all three to basically transcend the human state.
Yeah.
I like what you said too about being in the present moment, because spirit is not bound by time or place, location. It is a universal concept that is outside of the reach of time. But as a human, the only access that we have is the present moment. And we have memories of the past and we can daydream about the future, but those aren't real. Like what we have is the present moment. And spirit is there. Spirit is with us in the present moment because spirit, it doesn't have a past and a future.
Right.
It is. So I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, well, I think there's something there, the link between spirit and our individuality. I think early on, I got kind of tripped up by the concept of ego because it's like, well, what am I then? Like, is it okay to have preferences? Is it okay to feel like I need to do something different than the person beside me? And to me, that is our entire purpose here as humans. It is to be a different iteration or expression of the same spirit that lives within all of us. But spirit, whatever spirit is, whatever source is, God, whatever you want to call it, I don't think they wanted just, billions of humans that are all exactly the same to come be that expression of God. No, the whole point is that we are individuals. The whole point is that we each have this highly unique way, this highly unique piece of spirit within us that our purpose is to figure out how to express it to the world. We each have a slightly different piece of source of spirit, and that is our truth. That is our core. That is our spirit. And it's about digging it out, getting in there and letting it shine through, clearing all the cobwebs of the rest of the bullshit that is the human experience. And
no, and I think a big part of that is learning to be okay with being less than perfect, because I think society kind of pushes this perfection agenda, whether we want to agree to that or not. That's what it is. Like we're all trying to be the best and perform perfection. Really put that into perspective for me is say you get this really deep and emotional love letter from a prospect and it moves you to tears, and at the end of it you look up at this person and you thank them for connecting with you on this emotional level, and they say, oh, thanks, ChatGPT wrote it. And it's perfect. It's perfect. The words were intricately laid out, and it modeled emotional maturity and connectedness, but it was fake. It was perfect in the aspect of a robot wrote it. Does that have the same effect as if he had wrote a cheesy little poem out of his heart and maybe it didn't even rhyme? Or which would you prefer in that scenario? Would you want Chappy?
Old Chappy.
Old Chap. Would you want?
I'm sorry.
I'm definitely changing his name to Chappy now. Would it have the same value?
Not to me, but
either.
To the amount of people out there who are like falling in love with ChatGPT and proposing, maybe. I don't know. No, I totally. Oh, no. I totally get what you're saying. And like perfection is just a construct anyway. It's just a human concept that we fucking made up. We just make up all these things and everyone's just like, oh, okay. We just accept everything. And like, there's so much that we just accept that like does not have to be that way at all.
I think it's important to note that if you do have these feelings of being disconnected from spirit, you're not broken, you're not flawed, you have been conditioned. And honestly, if you are aware of those symptoms, to me that is like a godsend. Like, explore that.
100%.
Explore that.
Yeah, it's not you, it's the world around you that is the problem.
It's not me, it's them. Okay.
Believe me, you're fine. You're fine. You're perfect. But so much of, I think that unrest or that tension or that hollow feeling comes from us trying to feed the ego instead of nourish the soul. And we're sold this lie that if we follow these certain steps, we'll find fulfillment in that, or we'll reap some sort of reward at the end of it. And that is the ego. And we get there, we do the thing, we're a good little girl or a good little boy, and then we don't get the carrot that's been dangled in front of us. No one cares. And it's this existential crisis because what was promised to us is not at all the reality.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of that disconnection stems from as well. And most people just continue to strive and continue to chase it in one form or another. But that was never what you needed anyway. It was all within you.
You are the key.
Yes.
I love what you said earlier about almost like your identity and the ego, trying to discern what is what. And I think that's modeled really beautifully in the Bible, actually, when the disciples are asking Jesus to, like, who are you? And his only response is, I am that I am. And that's all he says. And honestly, we could get to that level of like, I just am. And that's it. Like, end of story, period. That is being connected to spirit, which is incredibly hard because I think we identify with different roles a lot. Yeah. So I am a good girl. I am a mother. I am a friend. I'm all these things. But no, actually, that's not self. Those are roles that you participate in as a human. Our self is the observer of those things. Our self is spirit. Our self is the part that is connected to all things.
Absolutely. I think the part of us that has like a real genuine connection to others is the self. Like maybe being the mother to you feels like the self because you love your kids so truly and deeply and authentically. But yeah, the majority of the roles that we take on, how many of those are really motivated by that same love or unadulterated, authentic connection or emotion? They're not. It's validation, belonging. It's all of the same things. The safety and the comfort and security. Based. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But once you have connected to spirit and you are in alignment, those roles actually become an expression for spirit. And your life becomes this ceremony. Everything becomes sacred. And that's one of the signs to me that you are actually in alignment with spirit, is everything has meaning, even suffering. You start to see pain has purpose. I'm not going to say that I get happy or like I enjoy when I'm going through a season where I'm dissecting pain, but how do I put this into words? It makes it easier to endure because you know that at the end of it is this little diamond waiting for you after you go through all this pressure.
I completely resonate with that. If I'm comfortable for too long now, I'm like,
I know, like, when's my next?
Yeah, what's going on here? Yeah, no, you are. It's like you're anchored into something deeper, so the storm doesn't, throw you around the way that it used to. And it's funny you say that because I was even thinking about that on like a larger scale. Now I'm going to try to choose my words carefully here because of course I'm not at all justifying like any of the horrible things that are happening in the world today. There are some just real atrocities and tragedies and free Palestine. But when you think about our spirit beyond this physical body, this current skin that we're wearing, and you think about just like the evolution of your spirit and your soul, and you think about, you know, these collective hardships that we're going through right now, you have to believe that there is some sort of evolved version of humanity on the other side of that.
The only authority that we have to make lasting change is to start with yourself. Start with the man in the mirror, as Michael Jackson said. That's really good.
Thank you. That's all you get.
Starting with ourselves, but then also stepping into a role of leadership and creating a sovereign home. So, like, teaching your children the things that we should have been taught, which comes back to how to think versus what to think.
So I feel like, you know, we can give sort of like a clearer call to action with the mind and the body, and spirit is a little trickier, I guess. I think it is somewhat helpful to think about how the mind, body, and spirit are connected, in that, you know, spirit is the core, like our true beliefs about who we are, about the world around us, about our role in the world. Our mind is our mind's job is to take ownership of those beliefs, put language to those beliefs, build a shelter around those beliefs that helps us communicate it to the world. And then our bodies are the embodiment of that. It's taking action on those beliefs and moving through the world in a way that reflects those beliefs.
Yeah. Life on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think once you really connect in with spirit, that's when the world opens up and miracles happen, which sounds so cliche, but it's true. That's when she starts talking to you, and at that point it's just this inner knowing. You develop this divine relationship, and it's collaborative, and you see these mystical moments on a daily basis sometimes, where it's just you are so aware that you are a part of something bigger than yourself. Synchronicities are probably the most tangible way that they'll show up for me personally. And I have a ton of stories that I could dive into, but it's hard to put words to it because it's so individualized. And you can't really explain it to other people because it transcends logic. It's an experience that you've had within yourself, and that's it. So you kind of have to taste and see. You have to explore that realm yourself, and it starts with getting your vessel aligned, and then like pursue the curiosity, keep asking questions, being open to the messages that she gives back to you.
Yeah, for sure. And if you want to align your vessel, purchase our green powder.
Gross. It would obviously be a mushroom coffee.
Well, yeah. Stay open, stay tuned in. I like the practice of, you know, a few times a day, randomly throughout the day, checking back in with yourself and reflecting on how you're feeling in that moment, you know, how different things throughout the day have made you feel. And if you need to set an alarm on your phone so you remember to do that, then do it until it becomes natural for you to check in. And that's another thing that I love about synchronicities, is you can assign whatever meaning you want to them. So if you want to tell yourself that every time you see a cardinal outside, you're going to check in with yourself and take stock of how you're feeling, then that's what that means to you.
I think that kind of wraps us up for this particular series. But if you have more questions or you want more information, we are putting together some really good information to share with you guys that you can take and kind of study at your own pace. Also, feel free to reach out to us. Like, let's start a conversation about it. It's hard to find community that gets it. It's also a little bit vulnerable to seek it out.
Oh yeah.
But we love this stuff. Like, this
Don't
is what
reach
we
out
do.
to me.
This is what we
kidding.
do
Please
it for
do.
fun.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment, shoot us a DM, whatever feels good to you, and let's talk about it.
100%. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. We look forward to hearing from you and continuing on the journey with you.
Until next time.
And changing the world. Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
And quietly starting the rebellion. Okay, bye.